Thank you so much and welcome to Snowspirations Global Health Solutions, our big event on this day, the 19th of June 2021. It's such an amazing pleasure to be in your midst today to launch a very important initiative to our group. My name is Dr. Chudi Ufondu. I'm the convener of the group. And if you notice, we have 4 amazing panelists in our group today. And it's going to be a big event, so if you're in a hurry, you better sit back. Now, directly under my view, it's the founder of AZONETA Group, Engineer Eric Osoro. He's going to be the anchor for his own part of the group today. And just on the other end, from my right side, it's Mitchell, who is the Chief Operating Officer of AZONETA, amazing lady, having a very great opportunity to join us today. Then you've always known my beautiful and amazing Chief Operating Officer, Kenneth. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be amazing. We are so excited about this initiative. We understand so many of our family members, so many of our friends, so many of our supporters, so many of our fans globally are out there. Something amazing is happening today. At the end of today's event, at the end of today's announcement, we're going to have an opportunity to have an alliance with AZONETA to help women who might not be able to afford the services they need, especially in reproductive health and sexual health. So it's going to be an amazing moment that you will never, ever regret. In the next 1 hour, we're going to have an opportunity to interact. It's going to be a panelist. It's going to be an interactive session. So it's not going to be like your normal academic session, okay? So at this juncture, I'm going to allow Eric to introduce himself. And Eric, when you're done, you introduce your COO. Thank you guys for coming.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Chudi and Kenneth, for having us today. We are very pleased to be here, and we definitely are very excited about our collaboration or our partnership in regards to female healthcare. I started AZONETA purely based out of from a legacy and compassion standpoint. I've been doing a few charitable works while I was in my stay here in Canada, and one of the things that drove me to start this organization was I remember when I think last year, the World Food Program won the Nobel Prize for Peace. And that struck me because we've seen this trend where these recognitions get to world leaders and they turn out not to be what we expected of them. And I sat down and I was speaking to my wife at the time, and I said, I'm very pleased that the World Food Program won this, and I'm thinking about probably maybe increasing my donations to their platform. And at the time, she said, why would you not consider doing something back home in Nigeria? And it struck me, and at that time, I sat back and I said, you know what? It made me think, and that was when the COVID-19 pandemic was at its full front, millions being killed and all whatnot. And I thought about my kinsmen back home, and I wondered what they must be going through. So, I just packaged a small amount of money, sent it back home, and the impact it made in their lives just blew me away. So that was a deciding factor for me. I said, maybe I need to really focus back home and see how much I can make a difference. So I woke up one day and decided to bite the bullet, started doing research work into what it takes to run a charity or a not-for-profit organization. And I wanted to really focus on education. And my mom was a teacher, and she was passionate about it. And I know I was given the opportunity to become a teacher here for a college on a part-time basis, and but that the fact still remains that it's not my calling. It was just something that I felt I could come in and deliver some technical skill that I had in my back pocket, right? So, but I felt I needed some sort of guidance or someone I could consult with on an educational standpoint, and not only from an educational standpoint, but I felt education was one key thing and had to do with how I could address poverty and hunger and all whatnot. But I wanted to start off with I wanted to really focus in on education. So that's where I reached out to Michelle, and it all started off with, "Hey, what do you think about this? Hey, what do you think about that?" And we seemed to click at that point. And I think I don't want to probably steal her thunder, but I think she would probably speak more on that whole engagement and how we collaborated and how Azoneta came to be in its full form. So I'll probably pass it on to Michelle to introduce herself and maybe share some more stories on how we got this organization running.
Michelle, over to you.
Thanks, Eric. Thank you, Dr. Chudy and Kenna, for having us today. It's lovely to have met you both and to be a part of what I think will be a wonderful step forward in advancing both Azoneta and SGHS and what the work we do. For myself, as Eric kind of alluded to, I am a teacher by trade here in Ontario, certified by the College of Teachers. I've been teaching now for almost 17 years. And truth be told, I've always been looking for a way to give back to people who are less fortunate than myself. And I do consider myself very fortunate, living in a wonderful country like Canada, having never experienced any type of discrimination based either on my sex or my color, having this opportunity to work with a organization that's at the forefront of what they're doing, not simply donating monetarily, not knowing what my money is doing, not seeing the fruits of my labors firsthand. I had that opportunity here with Azoneta, and I couldn't turn it down. I think everybody looks for something in their lifetime to sort of leave as a legacy, to say I made an impact somehow, I helped somebody, and I believe that that was my mission. So something that I live by is, and I've told this to Eric several times, it's a quote from the Talmud, which is the Jewish Hebrew book, and it says, "He who saves one person saves the world entire." Now, I don't believe I'm saving the world, but if I can help one person, I feel that that person will in turn pay it forward and help others. And altogether, we can help everybody. So when Eric started asking me questions about education-based information, like what do you feel of resources that the teacher basically needs in the classroom? What do you need to do your work every day? What do you think that, how could we help them to be more, productive with their students? What can we support them, like being from a teacher's perspective? And then I kind of started to be like, why are you asking these questions? And it was because he was dealing with at the time a school who had very few teachers to teach a wide range of curriculum areas. And he was like, how can we help these teachers? And what it came down to was finding a way to actually bring in more teachers to help, pick up the slack and the deficits. And the more I got involved in it, and the more we collaborated and worked together, the more I saw my hard work, my contributions making a difference. Because doing this one thing, we were able actually to, bring about full curriculum coverage by helping to hire new teachers and to help support the wages of those teachers, which truthfully, I was shocked compared to what a teacher in this part of the world makes. It's nothing, right? Like it's something that, a coffee a day for an entire month is what a teacher's wage is in Nigeria. So that's a real wake-up call, right, for somebody who, doesn't even think about doing that every day. So for me, working with Eric on that was the start of it. And then, you started to work, more. He starts to ask me about, well, what do you think about, desks? And we have to start doing roofing for this school because their infrastructure is deteriorating and the kids are sitting on the floors and, it tugs at your heartstrings. And so, it always snowballs. And if it's something that, you're truly passionate about, you will find your way into that.
Sure.
And before I knew it, I went from consultant to COO and helping Eric manage the day-to-day operations and the various projects we have on.
Great job.
Amazing.
Thank you so much.
Thank
I'm
you.
personally so excited to have you in our midst because you connect to the very fabric of our organization. Now, at this stage, I'm going to give my COO an opportunity to introduce herself and tell us all about what Snowspirations Global Health Solution is all about. Why the global there? So can I go ahead, please?
Okay, thank you, everybody. Eric, Michelle, thank you guys. Thank you guys for creating this opportunity that we can work together, collaborate for the similar goal, which is helping our community. It is amazing listening to your story and how this snowballed from an award to what it is now. So that is wonderful. Thank you. Everyone, welcome to our program. My name is Kene Uma. So of course, I'm sure you have seen me, my comments, everything. I am the Chief Operating Officer of Snowspirations Health. I'm an engineer by training. I live and I work in New York City. I'm a wife and I'm a mom to 4 kids. Our organization, we recognize well on time that there is this gap, healthcare information gap, and people were taking decisions, life and death decisions based on wrong information. And we decided, look, why not us? Why can't we be the solution to this? Why can't we provide the information, the right information, on-time information, unrestricted access to the right information, so that at least people can make informed decisions regarding their health care? So that is really Snowspirations for you. So my CEO, Dr. Chudi, he started this journey in 2015. I joined him in 2016. And I never thought, like Michelle, I never thought I would be doing this. My idea of charity was you donate and you take a seat back. So far when I joined him, I started to realize that I could do a bit more. And the more I did, the more interested I became in the program, and I just couldn't let go. It's impossible to just stop doing it once you've started it. So our organization caters to people from sub-Saharan Africa who live in sub-Saharan Africa. We cater from, we have members from Jamaica, Bangladesh, India. So it is a global company. And they all learn from all the things that we have to offer them on our platforms. So our hope is that when we empower them, they can go back to their families, empower their families, and in the long run, that the society becomes empowered. And people, maybe we can reduce the statistics, the healthcare, the bad, really, really bad healthcare statistics in their country. So that is what we are about. And just for the audience, I don't know if this is your first time here, please, we would like you to join all our platforms. Right now, we have 4 platforms. We have 2 on Facebook, our page, our group. We are present on Instagram, and we have a YouTube channel. You have no reason to say you do not know how to join SGHS. And also, in a little bit, you will be seeing the links for Azoneta. We need you to join them because something good is coming. And to be a part of that something good, you must click on their link and join their platforms. I think they have about 5 platforms: LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and all that. So you will see the link, Peter, very soon. Join them. And if you're listening, please stay till the end of this program. Good things come to people who stay till the end. Azoneta has come with big things. They're going to give us big, big things that our audience are going to really enjoy. But you have to stay till the end. So 2 things. Stay till the end and click on their links to join them, okay? So welcome, everybody. And thank you for sharing your Saturday with us. We're really happy to be here with you.
Yeah, thank you so much. And as you can see, we are so blessed. I and Eric are blessed to be amidst these 2 amazing ladies. Now, please, before we start, make sure you click the link to join the group, to join Azoneta, because like Kenneth said, something amazing is going to happen. You will blink and it's all done. So be very prepared. Now, Eric, can you please tell us what actually prompted this, Azoneta? What's Azoneta all about? Can you please tell us about that?
Yeah, sure. So I know we add a bit of a phonetics to Azoneta. Actually, when I say it, it's actually Azoneta. because I'm
Azoneta.
I'm
Okay.
Igbo, right?
Okay.
So
Azoneta. Okay.
but in this part of the world, I mean, everybody calls it what they feel comfortable with. So, you know, like Michelle calls it the way she feels comfortable with. But Azoneta is, as I said, is a not-for-profit organization registered here in Canada. Azoneta is actually, the name Azoneta comes from my two wonderful daughters, Chineta and Chiazo. So when you break out the names, so you see Azo Neta,
Okay.
right?
Wow.
So I have two amazing girls, and 16 and 14, and
Wow.
every day I definitely look forward to. I keep telling IJ that I look forward to seeing my girls grow. You know, that's what I every day, it's what I look forward to. The day they become they are young women now, I would say, but I keep looking forward to that. So Azoneta pretty much was built from, you know, when I say from a legacy standpoint, right? My parents are huge on philanthropy, and they left a huge shoes for us to fill in, and I felt I wanted to create an impact in some way. I could easily, as Kenneth pointed out, just give $10 here, $20 here, but I felt I needed a platform to create a bigger impact, and hopefully my kids can live on the legacy that I hope to leave behind for them and take on this responsibility. As Oneta, we started quite small. We started off focusing in my hometown of Umuchu in Aguata local government of Anambra State, and we tackled a few. As Michelle pointed out, I started off by reaching out to a secondary school out in my hometown, and funny enough, when I reached out to the acting principal at the time, I was expecting something easy, like, hey, do you need books? Hey, do you need whatever? And when she told me what their challenge was, I think that was when I realized I'm in a big trouble. You know, she said, we don't need books. We don't need any you coming in to build some infrastructure for us. We don't need this. We don't need that. I said, okay, so what is
So
your
what do you need?
challenge? And she said, we don't have teachers.
Wow.
That blew me away. And I was like, where am I going to start from? I have our project intermediary, Engineer Okichukwu Zaim, who is our points person in Nigeria. He's also from my town, and I reached out to him, and we started speaking about this challenge. And I said, okay, you need to talk to this lady. I honestly don't know where to start with this. So I started collaborating with a few people here in Canada, and I reached out to Michelle, and I said, this is my challenge, right? And we started talking about it, and that's how we came up with the idea of, okay, look, there isn't internet, we can't do virtual learning in a rural community, so the best bet is, maybe I should probably write to the state government. And I wrote to the state government, and the state government, the commissioner of education at the time, presented her challenges, and she said, like, listen, we have to rely on parent teachers association. And I was like, that's unfortunate, but it's the world we live in today. So I decided to say, okay, you know what, we have no other choice. Go hire teachers, and we'll pay whatever salary that they feel would be worth their effort. And as Michelle pointed out, it is a very sad case it's a very, very sad situation, because when you look at the minimum wage in Nigeria, and I think that's 30,000 naira, these teachers are earning way below the minimum wage. And I'm telling you, teachers that are paid 10,000 naira, 12,000 naira, 12,000 naira. There is a few people who even come in to volunteer, and we pay them a minimum of 6,000 naira just to volunteer, just to come there and teach. It is a very sad and heartbreaking situation. So that became a calling for me, because this is a school that had lacked about 12 teachers, or like over 12 teachers that were supposed to teach core subjects to get into university level, and they just couldn't. And I remember asking the acting principal, so what did the kids do all day? Oh, they just come into school, stay till 5 p.m. and they go home.
That's sad.
So that became a calling for me and a passion that I just couldn't let go. We managed to get them to bring in teachers. We tried to leverage the National Youth Service Program, and these coppers got posted to these schools and they refused to stay. Why? Because the school had no infrastructure to support them. They had no place to sleep. They had no place to relax. Nothing. The hostel where they were supposed to stay is in shambles. So it's an eyesore. So I through our project intermediary engineer Okechukwu Ezayim, I said, listen, let's motivate these kids to stay back. And what we ended up doing was to pay them a stipend to say, okay, wherever you're coming from, whether in the neighboring communities, just take this money, come over to the school, do your job, do what you are supposed to do, and let's just bring a stable environment. So through that program and the acting principal hiring teachers, we've been able to address teaching deficiency there. So that's, and when you reap one reward, you get obsessed to keep doing more.
That's correct.
So then I reached out to Michelle.
It's a chain reaction.
What next can we do?
That is correct.
So we started reaching out to other schools. We reached out to a nursery primary school as well, and Obarimba in my town as well. And again, in my being naive, I was looking at I said, what do you guys need? Books and pencils? And she goes, oh, the kids are sitting on floors, no desks.
Wow.
And you get stunned. And I called Michelle and I'm going, should we put a stop on this? Because the challenges is quite overwhelming. And I remember my elder brother, when I told him I was starting Azoneta, he warned me, he said, the challenges you're going to face will be overwhelming. I remember him clearly saying that. And I was like, well, what challenges can we not pretty much address, right? So, but
that's the spirit.
But they are really challenging. Yeah, but so with Obarimba, kids sitting on floors, the nursery kids sitting on floors, the roofs completely gone, rain, they're in classrooms, rain coming in, libraries completely damaged,
This is the problem.
Yeah.
It snowballs. It snowballs out of control, right? It starts with one thing. It starts the kids sitting on the floor. Well, why are they sitting on the floor? Because the desks have degenerated. Well, why have the desks degenerated? Well, the roofs are leaking, so the desks get wet, so they rot. So, okay, we can replace the desks, but if we don't do something about the roof, the desks are going to rot again.
Correct.
So we have to do the roof. So we do the roof, and then we're like, oh, but the school needs to be painted. Well, let's paint the school, right? Yeah. Oh, but what do you mean? Now we have to do the desks. But then the concrete is deteriorating that holds up the school. So now we've got to do the concrete. Like it's never an ending, proposition when you're dealing with places like this that have been just so neglected and run down. Yeah. So, we're starting here and we hope to help others, but it's a big prospect. It's many small projects along the way too.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys. Remember, this is Azoneta Snowspirations Initiative, and we're not all out here for the challenges alone. We are all here also for the breakthrough. So we've had tremendous success story. This dude, I've known him, he doesn't give up. He feeds on challenges. And the little I know about Kene is also someone that thrives in challenge. Then definitely you know me. Mitchell, I also know she thrives on challenges. So challenges bring out the best in us. The story of Snowspirations won't be complete without challenges. If all the women in our group didn't have challenges having a baby, we wouldn't have this group. So the fact we had this challenge and they were able to overcome the challenge, and now they have to step up. So we have a good news. It's no longer all gloomy. So we succeeded in doing something. We broke that back wall of difficulty in challenging teachers. That's how we were able to step up to now have this collaborative with Snowspirations. Now, can you go back to your questions and feature?
Before I go there, I'd like to say that this reminds me of what most of our members are going through. sometimes the challenges are so huge, so overwhelming, you just want to run and hide and forget about it. But this example that you guys are talking about now teaches us that challenges can seem overwhelming at the beginning, but if we break it down step by step, take each step at a time, at the end, we're going to succeed and overcome what the problem is.
Absolutely.
For our members, dealing with their BFP status becomes very overwhelming. And a lot of times it's hard. It beats you down. For years and years, it beats you down. But through our group, a lot of people have come to realize that there are things we can do. We just need to sit back, take a deep breath, and start again. And one of the ways that we tell them that they can do that is what we call our PPP. You know, pray, play, and practice. Play and practice. Pray to God, play, make love at least every 48 hours, and then practice everything that you have learned from Snowspirations Health, including seeing a fertility specialist. Because a lot of times that information is not there. There is a gap, and people try to make decisions based on myths, old wives' tales. So we have come in and we, try to take care of that. So challenges always have solutions. We just need to step back and see what we can do. Now, Eric, you talked about some of the projects that you have done. Is there any particular one that kind of holds a special place, a more special place? Because I know they're all special to you. And Michelle, you too. Is there any special or anyone that was particularly, touching or whatever it is? Just let us know.
Well, I can speak for me in being a teacher. Education is my passion, right? So anything having to do around that. Honestly, when Eric showed me photographs of the, just how the kids were sitting on, I believe they were either potato sacks or put out, like they were from holding concrete, powdered concrete. They had put them on the ground so that it would shield them a bit from the concrete. Like, it broke my heart. Like, I shed tears just to know like how fortunate we are in this part of the world. And like what my kids have at the school I teach at, laptops, name brand bags. They don't have pencils for yards, papers, they want for nothing. And just on the other side of the ocean, this is what you're dealing with. So I know for me, anything having to do with the education side of it is really, where my passion lies. But just the whole school and seeing the changes we've made and how we've empowered them and helped, that really, for me, I say that, that's a job well done, and I'm proud of that. I say I've been a part of that.
Yeah, thank you so much. If you don't have a heart of gold, you won't be in this, because sometimes we cry we don't have shoes until we see people without legs. So what happened in Umuchu is equivalent to crying we don't have shoes, whereas people don't have legs. So thank you so much, Mitchell, for coming out and helping this organization. I see this organization going viral anyway, because we are in this together. We share commonalities. Now, Eric, I understand you model the organization to tailor towards UN SDG goals. So what is the mission of AZONETA that made you to realign with UN SDG goals? Please go ahead.
Yeah, so I've always promoted the fact that we don't need to always start from scratch. If there is a framework for people to come together, pull their resources together, and to achieve a goal, that's always been my my North Star. So, global problems cannot be addressed through a global approach, or if you take a global approach, right? And it trickles down. The same philosophy applies even in local communities. If you have a local issue within your community, then you want to definitely take a community approach to addressing those problems. The SDG, the Sustainable Development Goals from the United Nations, is a framework for us to achieve a lot of the global issues that plaguing us in the globe today, when it comes to hunger and lack of education and the gender issues or gender inequality and accessibility to health, right? So I strongly believe that countries, organizations, individuals, communities, and everyone need to probably tap on that framework and build on it, and that's how we can address these global issues, right? So, and that's what led to our collaboration today, because we've looked at things from an educational standpoint. We've looked at things from a no poverty or zero hunger approach, because we've had 2 food drives in my local community in Umuchi Square. And we intend to do more. At least one of our roadmap plans is to do another in December, because we do that on a seasonal level, our approach, right? So I sat down with Michelle and I said, what can we look at next, right? And again, we looked into the United Nations SDG framework, and we said, she's passionate about, one thing she's passionate about, as she said, is education. And she felt that we need to tackle healthcare, right? And I felt the right approach would be to look at it from a female's perspective. And maybe I'll let Michelle speak on that, but that's pretty much the reason why I felt we needed to adopt the SDG framework, because that's really a framework that helps us address global issues. So maybe Michelle will probably speak on
Sure.
What Azoneta's plan is or strategy is when it comes to healthcare.
Yeah, thank you so much, Eric. And Mitchell, I'm going to ask you the direct question. So what's Azoneta's next big initiative as regards this particular announcement? Why are we all here? Why SGHS? So what's the big initiative?
Well, let me just give you a brief context. So Eric and I had talked numerous times that we had been putting a lot of effort into the education side of Azoneta. And we felt that it was time to start branching out, to start looking at the other goals that we, were part of our mission statement at being in Azoneta. So he told me probably back at the end of April a bit about you, Dr. Ufandu, and what you do and what your organization is about. And I mulled over it a bit, wondering where we could make an impact in that regard. And the more I joined all your Facebook groups and followed you on Instagram even before we met, so that I could see the work you did to kind of understand, the services you offer. And
you mean you joined me or Eric?
And I joined you.
Oh, wow.
On Facebook group. Yep, Snowspiration, because Eric told me about it. And I was
very mean. And we got results, right?
No, absolutely. No, I didn't, because he was so vague in what he told me, that what SGHS does. Like, he's like, oh, they offer healthcare advice for this. And I'm like, what exactly about? And he's like, oh, healthcare for, women. And I was like, okay, well, that's very broad. Like what in particular? So for me, I do my research, right? So I started to creep your pages to see what it was all about. Okay, so that's the background. Okay, then the more Eric started to talk with you guys, the more he filtered down to me, right? And the more I said to myself, okay, Michelle, like, what are the challenges that women face? And I know for myself, and I've shared this with Eric too, my mother suffered from cervical cancer, which was a result of an HPV infection, which we know is rampant and is hard to address. So there's also a stigma attached to that, because down there, nobody talks about it, even
Correct.
in this part of the world, right? So then you branch that off into infertility. I have many friends who suffer from infertility, and the stigma that's associated with not being able to bear a child, the connotation that there's something wrong with you and that you're not, you're broken, is here. And then when I started to see with your organization the fostering of the positive mindset, and that there is, things that you can do, that there's always a road and a path to travel, these small things that can give you an end result of something like, whether it be treatment towards cancer or prevention of a sexually transmitted disease, or dealing with, conception issues. That all is really important for women to feel empowered, that it's okay to speak about these things, that they don't have to be burdened in silence, that they don't have to be stigmatized, that there is a community that offers that support. In particular, your community focuses on infertility and conception, that, everybody needs the right to have that support. And sometimes, most times, it doesn't come from the family around you, because others who are not suffering from infertility cannot empathize.
Correct.
Right? So I said to Eric, I was like, well, what do you have in mind? What do you think we can do? And he's like, well, Dr. Ifandu was saying maybe, sponsoring some women who wouldn't be able to otherwise, say, afford a service like this, or, further care in this vicinity. You might have the first initial visit, but going forward, it's a process. It doesn't happen overnight. And I was like, well, let's see what we can do. And this is sort of what bloomed from it, is our collaboration of like, how can AZONETA help? How can we make an impact for less fortunate women in sub-Saharan Africa, not necessarily just in Nigeria, and allow them access to informative healthcare that could start setting them down that right path for conception and having a beautiful baby. So that's sort of like, where we kind of wanted to take all of this. And, if we could, I don't want to say have an AZONETA baby, but if we can empower a woman to say,
the baby is coming. The baby is coming. So you guys are currently in your first trimester.
Yes.
So guess what? We have 3 trimesters in pregnancy. So AZONETA is in the first trimester.
Yes.
AZONETA is taking prenatal multivitamin. AZONETA goes to A and C. So in next 9 months, AZONETA is going to have a baby.
Woo!
And the baby is going to be more good things to come.
That's right.
And it cannot be stopped.
Yeah.
So, Mitch, I'm going to come in, when you mentioned about HPV, and I'm also going to, everybody at home, please listen carefully. We all have teenagers at home. Sometimes we don't focus on teenage health. Sometimes we don't focus on adolescent health. HPV stands for human papillomavirus. It's actually the commonest sexually transmitted infection out there. Now, I know you'll be sitting back and you're seeing that your little girl, now your little boy, oh, he doesn't know anything. Guess what? They're going to experiment. Now, can we do something about HPV? 100%. Thankfully, we have an effective vaccine, which you can give the teenagers, which can prevent them from catching it. Now, it doesn't mean that once you have HPV, you're going to have cervical cancer. There are some strains that can lead to cervical cancer. Now, guess what? In our group, we focus on CAP, knowledge, attitude, and practice. What we teach our women every single year, make an appointment and go for your well-woman check. When you go for your well-woman check, if you're of age to do your pap smear, you're going to definitely do your pap smear. Kenna came back from her appointment yesterday and she told me, Doc, you know what? They changed this, they changed that. I said, Kenna, if you didn't go to your doctor, you wouldn't even know they've changed that. You would have assumed that everything is all good and dandy. Now, 2020 taught us a lesson. Most people that survived the pandemic of COVID were people that were seemingly in good health. People that we lost, unfortunately, were people that had some comorbidities, some chronic conditions. So many people got exposed to COVID. They didn't even have the symptoms because their immune system is strong. So why am I saying this? You can see that you guys' mission with SGD and our mission and helping and infertility, which is big time stigmatized. When we were meeting with Mitchell, and she told me they actually stigmatize people in Canada. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Because we've always given this problem a feminine, or it's a woman problem. Woman go and do this, woman go and do that. Even from the so-called people that should be protecting them. So in SGHS, like AZONETA, you can find a home. If you are listening to me today, the combination of these 2 amazing forces in this discipline, in this dispensation, we are going to win. So SGHS, currently we've had several babies. AZONETA is currently in first trimester. So long as they continue taking their prenatal vitamins, coming for their ANC, they will give birth to a very big baby. So be on the lookout for them. Now, can I go ahead and keep engaging and ask the next question, please?
Okay. What Michelle said, it's really amazing. The AZONETA baby concept just got me all wild up because I know we have our SGHS babies. So that is good. Thank you guys so much.
I saw the latest one on your feed.
Yes.
Correct. Can you quickly tell the audience what happened to the baby we had yesterday? I want you to say, just remove the vitals, but tell them exactly how we were able to save that baby yesterday.
Okay. Oh my goodness. As you know, in SGHS, we have several consult packages. We have a group forum where we call the ANC forum, Antenatal Care Forum. Every day in our broadcast, we yell and scream. If you're pregnant, join this forum. If you're pregnant, join this forum. Things happen in pregnancy. It's not over until it's over. Until mother and child and father are all well and you can see them, it's not over yet. So we had a situation where a pregnant lady in our ANC forum. Everything seemed to go so well, but towards the end, there was a severe complication. And we had to intervene immediately because she had gone to see a midwife, and the midwife didn't even recognize the symptoms, how severe the symptoms was. And she sent her back home. And then she said, oh, I'm waiting for my appointment next week, so I'll go. We had to go up there and say, no, you don't wait. This is an emergency. Go right now. Luckily, she went. And a baby who was supposed to be delivered by middle of July came a little early. Mother and father and child are doing well. And that is our SGHS baby that Michelle was talking about that she saw. We were all waiting. We couldn't sleep. We're all awake waiting for what was going to happen because we didn't know. So ladies, if you're pregnant and you're listening to me now, admin Chi, please post the link to our ANC. If you are listening now, please go in there. Not only are we going to be on top of your case, you are going to hear and learn from other women's journey. When they ask questions, when they complain about their symptoms, you're learning, even though you don't have those symptoms. So it's a good thing to be amongst people. It's like a support group, actually, with the medical doctors consulting on that. So you need to be there. Hurry up if you're pregnant. Once you test positive and you're confirmed with your ultrasound, please head into our ANC lounge. So, that was what happened. So I was talking about the Azoneta baby. So that is really a cool concept. But anyway, Eric and Michelle, I know that from the outside, a lot of times, if you're not in this, you don't know that there's these challenges. You just think, you just go in there. Just like when you started, you thought it was just going to be an easy move. Get them books and boom, Absolutely. Boom, boom. And now you got yourself into what you didn't bargain for, Absolutely. But unfortunately, once you get yourself into that, the passion is not going to let you come out either. No. So where do you see Azoneta in a couple of years from now, 10 years from now? What do you see? What is going to happen? What is your plan? What do you hope for, with Azoneta?
Michelle, probably you want to go first. So.
Yeah, Eric is always defaulting to his COO.
Smartly. He's smartly defaulting.
Because he knew that these women are not smoking for real.
Well, Azoneta depends on the support, not only of just donors, but also on the strong partnerships that we form. So we hope in the next 10 years to have more of those partnerships that forward the goals we're trying to achieve towards education, zero poverty, zero hunger, gender equality, and to have really strong partnerships means we can make bigger impacts. And I know later on we will have another one again on the education front that we hope will make a big impact as well, but that these partnerships perpetuate, that they're not just for a period of time, that they're ones that we build on year after year after year. And that means we solidify the foundation that it's built on. Everything, that we do, we expect to see it morph and transform and, sort of take on a life of its own. And we hope that in 10 years, Azoneta is fueled by, not just Eric and myself, but by other people with like minds and like passions, brought in by partnerships, brought in by, yes, donorship. But also we want to see that, we can continue to offer scholarship programs. We were actually, Eric and I were just talking about one last night where, we were looking towards empowering females into STEM, education, at a university level, or even ones for more teachers, because we always need teachers. They set the foundation for, kids to be successful. Perhaps, empowering local businesses to have, more access to resources that they may not have, just being in more rural areas of the country. So, we hope to, all these things will allow us to continue our mission forward. So that's really, sort of like an amalgamation of all of the hopes and dreams we have for Azoneta, in the coming years. I don't know if Eric has anything to add on that.
Eric, now you've had Expo. Now you have been given some expo. Please, can you go ahead and tell us how you see Azoneta in next 10 years?
Yeah. So I was when myself and Michelle were talking about where do we see ourselves in next 10 years. I made a joke and I said I hope Azoneta still exists in 10 years. And
Negative Nancy.
She always says I'm always negative.
Negative
I'm
Nancy, and I'm the
always,
chatty Kathy.
More of the I always take the more realistic approach. I always caution myself most times. But Michelle always reminds me, you know, keep pushing, you know, just don't, sometimes you might limit yourself. And in that limitation, you tend to negative thoughts start coming in, especially when I started the story of how we started, you know, we need to build roofs. And I was like, I called up a friend of mine in Nigeria who's a contractor, and I said, what's the estimate? And he gave us the estimate, and I was like, okay, you know, the negative thoughts start coming in. But in regards to where we see ourselves, as Michelle pointed out, we need to build on partnerships, and not just from a donor standpoint. Partnerships is collaborations are key. I keep talking about this and re-emphasizing it, but global issues cannot be addressed by one person. Even Bill Gates, with all the money he has, there's still hunger in the world today, right? But we can only do this if we collaborate. And in my community in Umuchu, everybody, we have philanthropists who come in, they do one thing, they do this, and, you know, they everybody disperses, you know, where, you know, for example, one of the problems in Anambra State we have is erosion, right? The roads are severely bad. And one of the temporary solutions that we always adopt is, let's just put sand and laterite or whatever, grade the road and be done with it. And come rainy season, off is gone. So I keep re-emphasizing on the importance of we have to all collaborate. It can't be one person's job. We all have to collaborate. We all have to go into a partnership to actually achieve a lasting result, right? So my goal for Azoneta is to build on those partnerships, to build on the SGHS partnership. It's one thing for us to have this partnership, which allows women access to informative healthcare, because that's one of the key factors that the World Health Organization has flagged as a burden in the world today, right? So we want to build on that partnership, because what SGHS offers is a digital platform, right? People come in, they access through their phones or their laptops or their tablets or whatever, but there is still the lingering accessibility for people in the village, the rural community,
who might not have access to social media,
who have no access to this, right? Mm-hmm. So the question for me and the drive for me is, how do we get there? And I think with collaborations like this, it forces, or it makes organizations like yourself and Kenneth to rethink, to say, okay, look, Eric is putting some pressure on us at this point. It's not bad pressure, but it's good pressure. And good pressure in the sense of, how do we then access or address these people in the rural communities? It might just involve where, you know, Dr. Trudy can wake up one day and say, Kenneth, you know what? I think Eric raises a good point and says, why don't we have a clinic where we can send someone to a rural community and teach, you know? And that drives that accessibility out there. It might just be where, you know, we say, we're going to dedicate 3 days or a weekend to a rural community in some part of Southeast Nigeria. 3 days, full accessibility. Every woman comes in there, tells you your challenge. You now leave and say, okay, hey, maybe an organization like myself, you can come out and say, hey, Eric, listen, we went to this, for example, Umuchi, we met with 20 women who are having these issues, and we want to engage them. How can we leverage that, right? And that's where the whole collaboration and the partnership becomes more stronger and adds more value, right? Because it's one thing to say, yeah, let's bring in 50, 100, thousands of women on the online platform, right? But there's still women that's really the target out in the rural community. So we want to build on this partnership. We want to expand. We want to collaborate. We want to become more innovative to address some of these issues, not just only from a health perspective, but pretty much wherever our cause or our mission allows us to be, right? So that's what my goal is, and I hope that with such collaborations, we can definitely lead to building a better tomorrow, right? So
thank you so much, Eric. I'm gonna chip in. I'm gonna tell you a little bit about how our organization is thinking wide, our limitations, and how we're able to still stay in it. Then I'm gonna allow Kenneth and Mitchell to come. Now, here's the deal. Since 2015, I started my journey in maternal and child health. The actual driving factor for me was my daughter. My daughter was born very early, at 26 weeks. And if you guys are listening, when she was growing up, she used to show up and broadcast with me. So you guys are all familiar with Umeje and Zara. The starting point for me in maternal health was prematurity. And prematurity is the situation where a baby is born before 37 weeks 10. Now, Kenneth also has a premature daughter who, with the help and the facilities we have, if I were to be in Nigeria, truthfully, I'm not going to be I'm just keeping it real. We wouldn't have succeeded in having a daughter because the challenge came so very suddenly. I had to go to the hospital. It took like 10 minutes to address my wife's case. Now, we are living in a time where so many of our members that have problems spiritualize their problems. Now, if we can break even into religious organizations, local government organizations, which we are all from Nigeria, the bigger picture for me is that time will come when we can go to this Umuchu, we inspect the projects, we talk to the communities, we go there, we talk to the young women that are probably having problems, we talk to the stigmatized women, we empower them. A drop of water can rain. Taking your prenatal multivitamins can save all the problems. Going to your ANC, even thinking about contraceptives, empowering the ladies, knowing fully well that there is nothing like, or is a woman's problem. Infertility is a man and a woman problem. So time will come when this organization will go big. With all these security issues we have in Nigeria, we could have gone back home because, like I said, the people that have a need are not even showing up.
That's correct.
They are not even in our audience. But we still know there are some people in our audience. We have a way of identifying them. Like during the COVID, we gave out stimulus. So this organization is an organization that thrives in love. We come together, we identify our problems. There are individuals that sponsor 10 people every month. There are some individuals that are looking for babies, but they forgo their own looking for babies. They begin to help other women to become mothers even before them. This is the spirit of love. Now, without these challenges, are we going to overcome? No. So whenever every morning I wake up, I say, hey, what problem am I going to crack today? Like after this, I'm still going to do our word run. So every single waking up will yield better results. My belief is that at the end of this initiative, the first one, God is going to multiply our talents. God is going to multiply our treasures. We'll continue to be the light in the community. So time will come when we go back to the communities. We'll go back to those places and we'll speak to them live, because people believe, like Thomas says, when they see you visibly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's where our organization is going to come in. So I'm going to allow you to also bring in your perspective.
One of the, like I asked you about what your plans in the next decade is it applies to us too. We think about that. One of the things, we have an app, our mobile app coming out, which we're going to be using for consulting and stuff. But one of the larger plans of that is we hope in the future to use the members who have access to social media to develop frontline healthcare professionals who we can then send into the rural areas. They have these, I'm going to call them clients or patients, however you want to have it. And, they talk to them about the medication. They're going to be our frontline, SGHS frontline healthcare professionals. Whatever these people gain from the rural areas, they can now use our app to translate back to our doctors, and then we can, our doctors can consult or give whatever it is. If we have educational materials we want to share with them, if we have like how you're delivering things, books and stuff to schools. So if we had like sanitary pads, if you had we can go through these frontline professionals who would then, or even condoms on how to use that. And we recognize that the people prenatal vitamins, the people we currently have now, yes, they are members, but we are hoping that in the future they will become surrogates for us to reach those people. Because
Correct.
in order to have a wide scale impact, you're going to have government involvement. We cannot kid ourselves. The way we're heading, we don't know when that will come. So we will do our little bit until the government gets its act straight. And so these are the things that we look at. We have so many things, our plan for the next decade, but it is doable. One thing at a time is doable. Our hope is that we become the gift that given the people who have access, become surrogates in their communities, and then we can reach everybody. And if we do get government involvement in the way we want it, huge tangible changes will occur. So we have that in mind, and this partnership is just the beginning for that, and we're so glad to have you guys on board. It's just a huge thing. People from the outside might not know. They might think you just sit down and you do these things. These are years and months of sleepless night, cracking your brain. It's hard. It's tough. But we're glad about this whole situation, and our members are going to be benefiting from this. They're going to be benefiting hugely.
I can tell you a story about Eric. When Eric broached this collaborative effort with me, I actually knew he had enough hairs in his head. But since Eric started Azoneta, you can clearly see Eric is having alopecia totalis. Alopecia is, and I'm trying to model it.
Absolutely.
So you can see he's been challenged. Yeah. There was one particular conversation I had with Eric, and he was getting frustrated, and I laughed because Kenneth can bear me witness. I have had so many nights I just felt like giving up. Yeah. But remembering that every appearance can save one woman gave me that hopes. We have succeeded. We've had quadruplets. We've had triplets. We've had a 62-year-old had a baby. So there is nothing that can stop us if we unite. What gives me so much joy in this very collaborative effort is the fact that I know him. If I don't know him, maybe I will be thinking, I know he's very versed. I don't even know if he's sleeping because after the meeting we had with Mitchell, he said, "Oh, I'm meeting again." Then the next moment he's messaging Kenneth, and I'm like, "Young man, when do you sleep?" But this is how we change our world. We are changing our world for our girls. We are changing our world for our boys. We are changing our world for our women. We are changing our world for our parents, our grandparents, because this is the moment we've been waiting for. Now, we are going to give an opportunity to the audience. It looks like it's been a very talking whatever. So we're going to give an opportunity. If you're in the audience, please, if you have any question for our panelists, if you have any question for Engineer Eric Osoro, the founder of Azoneta, and Mitchell, the COO of Azoneta, and Kenneth, the COO of SGHS, and myself, I know you guys will be waiting to ask your questions. This is an opportunity. Okay? Now, please remember, there's a gift, 3 gifts for people that want to attend the Fibroid and the Clomid Summit. I'm going to ask some very simple trivia questions that will show us you actually participated. But right now, the clinic is open for interactive question and answer. So please, if you have any question, please go ahead and ask.
Yes, I hope you guys were listening. Let me just give you some expo. Azoneta has had so many projects that they have been into. They have provided teachers for schools. They have built desks for schools. They have changed roofs for schools. They have done food drives in the Christmas time and Easter time. They have donated books amongst all other things they're trying to. Listen, I'm giving you a tip because the trivia is coming up. So be ready.
Trivia is coming. Correct. And it's going to be very simple, but you need to pay attention.
Yes.
Okay? So guys, the clinic is open. It's open interactive session. If you have any question to ask Eric, if you have any question to ask Kenneth, if you have any question to ask Mitchell, if you have any question to ask me, please feel free. We are here to help. And we are going to succeed. Every singular woman who the mother gave birth to will give birth to their own. It can be delayed, but it can never be denied. So that's the major problem we have in our group. But together we are going to overcome. And by the fact you attended this event today, you will have an opportunity to win a prize. Okay? So go ahead. Now, admin, stand by for my trivia question so that once we ask the question, you shortlist the first person that got it right. Now, while we're waiting, I'm going to go ahead and ask the question. Now, when Engineer Eric was talking about Azoneta, how did Engineer Eric arrive at the name Azoneta? what is the component of the name Azoneta? The first person to get it correctly will attend the upcoming Fibroid and Clomid Summit free of charge. The first trivia question is, what is Azoneta? How did Engineer Eric arrive at Azoneta? Men looking at Azoneta in official value. Please, what's Azoneta? Please, if you're Engineer Eric's family, you're exempted. If you, I will report you to Canada High Court. Don't go there. Okay? Okay. So someone is actually making an attempt. Okay? So admin, please identify the person that got it correctly. Forward the name to Kene, so the person will attend the event free of charge. Okay? The first person that got the concept of Azoneta, what Azoneta is all about, how Azoneta came about, will attend the event free of charge. Now, since you guys are not asking questions, I'm gonna be asking. Now, how did Mitchell come into the picture? What's Mitchell's initial job before she landed this big COO? You know, the funny thing about names, when you mention big names, you will think the person is a millionaire. She's not a millionaire. We still need help.
Hardly the case.
We still need to have you guys support Azoneta for the project, okay? But what's Mitchell's, profession? And if you listen attentively, she also told us about her mother. What particular ailment did the mother have? Prompt question. If you get it, you're going to attend the event free of charge. The first person, I believe, we've already shortlisted for the first. The second question is, what's Mitchell's original profession and what did Mitchell's mom have? Go ahead, please, before she died. Someone is trying to do expo. You are exempted. Yeah, I've got one person that is trying to do expo. So, Mitchell, in Nigeria, when you're trying to go to Google to look for answer, it's called expo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
look
my
at
kids
that.
do that quite a lot.
Correct. Look at that. Someone got this 100% correct. She's been paying attention. She's a teacher, and she has been teaching for 17 years.
Wow.
That's correct, and that's enough for me. So admin, shortlister, and also someone also mentioned that your mom unfortunately passed from cervical cancer. That's enough for me. These are the women we are raising. We are using knowledge, we are changing their attitude, we are changing their practices, and we are changing the world. Now, if you noticed, I talk a lot. Why? I was raised by a teacher. My mom is a teacher. And guess what? You might think I'm a doctor, but I'm first of all a teacher. If you're not a teacher, you can't do this job, because there are some days I talk and I'll be sweating and it will look like I'm losing calories. So you have to be a teacher to do this job, okay? So thank you guys. Do you guys have any question? Do you have any question?
Dr. Trudy, do you mind if we just quickly run down what we will be offering on behalf of Azoneta through SGHS?
Come on,
just because I don't think we made it explicit. Azoneta would like to partner with SGHS and offer every month for the next 6 months, we will sponsor 2 women for your classic package, which allows them to have one-on-one consultation with the SGHS medical professionals to allow them to hopefully achieve their ultimate goal of conception and having a baby. So we have put together an application form, which we have available on our website at www.azoneta.org, which I'm sure all of that information will be made available. And so that people who feel that they would like to apply for this grant that Azoneta is offering can do so through this application form. And we encourage everybody to apply. And, we will, talk amongst ourselves with regards to who is awarded it. But we feel that this is our way to contribute and to pay it forward.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We are so grateful. It's going to help a lot. And one good thing about my people, they are very grateful people. So it's a gift that keeps giving. When you train someone and someone feels she's blessed, the best prayer anybody can pray for you is a prayer of thanksgiving. So the fact you guys are stepping up to help these women that can't help themselves, God will bless you. Now, guys, please start looking out for this application. Is going to come in. Remember, my COO gave a criteria. So one of the criteria is to make sure you follow Azoneta, you're active in their Facebook, you're active in all their social media platform, then you follow ahead and apply. Now, when you are applying, please keep it real. You don't gain anything lying, coming in to have a baby. You can't lie to God. So please, if you don't have a need, don't even waste your energy. You can actually flip the odds. If God has blessed you, you can bless other women. But if you genuinely have a need for this, please follow up. You might be lucky. Thankfully, by the time we're expanding, God is going to be making a way for things we'll be doing, because we started like few people. Now we ballooned into this bigger event. So keep on asking your questions until I think I'm going to leave the last trivia question for you, whichever way you're going to coin it. Correct.
Okay.
Or maybe Eric.
Leave it for Eric.
Eric, go ahead and ask your trivia
Put him
question.
on the spot.
I don't know if I have a trivia question per se, but I just want to touch on what Michelle talked about. So please, if you are in need, kindly visit our website. The application form is out there. As Michelle pointed out, we will be sponsoring women, at least 2 women every month. For the classic package, we gives you a 3 months subscription, right? 3 months subscription to have a one-on-one consultation with the SGHS medical practitioner group, right? So take advantage of it. At least for the next 6 months, we should, if my math is correct, we should have sponsored at least 12 women in the program, right? Yeah. And hopefully, by God's grace, next year, if we're all fortunate to still be alive and we have more funding and all whatnot, we should probably even...
What did you call him again?
Negative Nancy.
That's going to be my... that was going to be my question. I was like,
hopefully by next year, we'll probably increase that number. Because,
Amen.
We are right now a not-for-profit organization, but we are pursuing charity status here in Canada. And once we attain that opens up more opportunities for us, right? So please take advantage of this opportunity. And as Dr. Chudi said, please try and be honest about your approach. We want to target people who are desperately in need from a financial standpoint. So if you are blessed financially, please leave the opportunity for those who are not, right? And that's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Eric, is that supposed to be your trivia?
Maybe my trivia question would be, which I probably didn't talk about.
How many children do you have?
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Thank you. There you go. Okay. So how many children do I have?
Leave it hanging.
And what's their age? The age, what's the age of my 2 kids, right?
Very good. Very good. That's a good one. So whoever gets it correctly is going to be the top person. Okay. So how many kids? And what are their age? So if you get it correctly, you're going to attend our event free of charge. And it's going to be a life change. I know so many of you are worrying about fibroid, you're taking Clomid, and you don't know that Clomid can lead to cancer if it's not prescribed. So now, please, I want us to have a feel of, 2 daughters, 16 and 14, 17 and 14. So Eric, they've already put out the feedback, so you give the correct one so that we can shortlist.
Yeah,
I believe the 16 and 14 is correct.
That's correct. 16 and 14 is correct.
Correct.
Oh,
now, let me make it a little bit difficult. What are the names? What's the first name of the first daughter? Of course, I don't want any of your Suarez answering. You're going to disqualify you immediately. What are their names? What are the names? What's the name of the first daughter? If you mix it up, you're gonna. If you're trying to do expo, you get it wrong because the Azoneta is actually the other way around.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
If you're trying to go the first, no, this is a biblical injunction. It's the first shall be the last. So the Azoneta is the other way around. I'm giving you guys expo. Okay.
So guys, if you're watching now, just pay attention. In our group, we're going to make the announcement of how you will be part of Azoneta's 2 classic packages per month for the next 6 months.
Correct.
So one of the eligibility criteria is that you must be a part of Azoneta's social platforms, either Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, whatever it is. We will provide that information. We provide the links to lead you there. Please, I'm not even, needless to say, I know that there's going to be so many applications. So the application form is going to be on Azoneta's website. Azoneta is going to shortlist the winners and then let us know. So just pay attention to our group. Keep visiting our group as always. Pay attention to the announcement. We will announce it. 2 classic consults per month for the next 6 months. That is amazing. Amazing. And thank you so much. And besides this trivia we're doing now, Azoneta is sponsoring 3 people through this trivia too to our masterclass. So this is huge. And this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. Thank you, guys.
Our prayer
Thank you
is
so
that
much.
next year God is gonna triple it.
Yes.
Amen.
And we'll have enough, and we can actually go back to Umuchu in real time.
Absolutely.
And drink palm wine.
Absolutely.
And someone like Mitchell will refuse to come back.
Not at all.
Hopefully, the initiative about reaching out to the rural communities, once that kicks off, maybe
it will happen.
The pilot program will be in Umuchi, hopefully.
Correct.
We won't go to Doc's village at that point. We'll start off with ours.
No, we start off in Umuchu.
Yes, absolutely.
But guess what? I'm jealous because you have been doing all your projects in Umuchu, and I don't like that. We have to maybe go to Kenya's
We will
village.
definitely
That's right.
expand. We will.
Right.
Just in our defense, that's why we reached out to you, because you do service sub-Saharan Africa, and we wanted to extend beyond the borders of Nigeria.
Correct.
To help all we can help.
Correct. Guess what? In our group, people from Ghana, people from Kenya, people from Cameroon they want to have what we are doing in their place. Yeah. Some of them are so frustrated because of payment methods, because of global referrals. Easy way of they don't have referrals, so the people in Nigeria don't even know what they have. Like the issue Eric mentioned. I don't know, Eric, what's the closest tertiary center in Umuchu? Tertiary healthcare center.
I think we have one, and it's just for the whole town.
So look at that.
It's just one for the whole 7 villages. There.
So we can collaborate with them.
Yeah.
We can collaborate with them. We can collaborate with church, and we can pass on our simple messages. Our messages are not difficult. If you want to be pregnant, start taking your prenatal multivitamins. 3 months. Then 3 months into your pregnancy. If you're pregnant and you're having bleeding, you're having water coming out of your body, you're having pain, please go see a doctor. Because the problem we have back home is self-medication. Everybody is a doctor. Like the case Kene mentioned, how can a woman at 35 weeks be having severe headache, be having severe symptoms, be sent home? Home for what?
It wouldn't happen here.
So, and everybody was rejoicing when they saw the beautiful baby yesterday. Oh, he's so beautiful, he's so handsome. Because someone made sure that people did the right things. Because no matter how much tears you cry, once your baby is gone, it's not going to come back. This is why all pregnant women must be in our ANC. That's the first act of love you can give your daughter or your son. Okay.
Are we sure that I just wanted to be sure if anybody from the audience has asked any questions that they might have. We just wanted to be sure before.
Correct. We actually seen, I don't know, can you guys see the screen? Can you guys see the question on the
No.
Okay, so it looks like I'm the only person that can see the question.
Correct.
So
yes.
I have one question from one Ijoma Osora. Eric, who is this Ijoma Osora? The name sounds familiar.
I honestly do not know who that person is.
Okay, so this person is asking, is there an annual outreach target for Azoneta in partnering with SGHS from, someone is asking, so Ijoma Osora, which if I'm to hazard a guess, should be your wife, the wife of Azoneta, the mother of Azoneta. So she's asking on behalf of the audience. So go ahead.
We right now this collaboration just started, so we haven't, as for our target this year, I don't want to throw out numbers per se, but we are probably looking at I would say for this year we probably will be investing close to if my math is correct, maybe over 100,000 naira based on our annual investment into female healthcare through the SGHS collaboration.
Okay, thank you so much. Now, guys, do you have any questions for our panelists? Do you have any, please? Now, I remember when I was teaching, when I was talking, I mentioned something about HPV vaccine. So many of us have teenagers, right? you can actually prevent them from having HPV. HPV stands for human papillomavirus. So it's preventable. In the same vein, there are so many preventable things out there. Teenagers are becoming pregnant, they are picking up sexually transmitted infection. And the funny thing about HPV, it doesn't necessarily have a particular symptom. So it can be in your body, it can be damaging things. And, you know, coming from Africa and Nigeria, we don't want to hear cancer, right? So cancer, it's like it's coming from the spirits, or you don't tell anybody or go to the church. So that's why most people that have cancer die in Africa, because by the time we're getting the diagnosis, it's already metastasized. So HPV is preventable if we can prevent it by giving the kids, both the male kids and the female kids, the vaccines. It's available. So please, in as much as your kids might still be 18, they're still kids. In Nigeria, pediatric age is from 18 down. So once they are that teenage age gap, please give them this vaccine. It's going to help them. Okay? If we can do this.
We are lucky here.
Correct. And if we can do this, and if you're a lady in your reproductive phase, please go for your well woman check. Your well woman check, you can't miss this. So well woman check means you're not necessarily sick, but every single year you bring out one day to see your doctor. And your doctor is going to ask you questions, examine you, and run a lot of tests. Then if anything is wrong, we can begin to take care of them. Now, if you are believing God to be a mother, focus on age 35. A woman is not going to be productive for the whole of her life. As you're getting older, your chances of becoming a mother will be dwindling. When you get to 35, you have a sharp drop in the number of the eggs and quality of eggs. So what do? If you are 35 years and above and you have been practicing PPP, that means you pray, you make cloth 48 hourly, then you see a practitioner and you practice virtually everything we're saying you. If after 6 months, 35 years and above, you don't have a baby, please escalate. Go and consult a fertility specialist. A fertility specialist is a doctor that is specially trained in only the area of infertility. Then we can begin to look at the man, we look at the woman, we identify the problems. Once we have identified a problem in infertility, we have solved the problem by 50%. Now, if you're below 35, please believe for 12 months. Infertility is only defined as the inability to have a baby after a series of continuous, regular sexual intercourse for a period of 12 months. So the reason why we made it 12 months for below 35 is because the younger you are, the more you have an opportunity. But the older you are, the difficult it becomes. Now, can you still be a mother at 60? Yes, ma'am. How can a woman at 60 be a mother? The woman can go for donor eggs. They can go for donor sperm. But they can also adopt. They can also go for surrogacy. Can you be a mother at 80? Yes. What's your only option of being a mother at 80? Adoption. Is there any difference between an adopted baby and no? You're gonna call you a mother. So don't make the mistake of trying to be politically and culturally correct, and you end up hurting yourself. Anybody that wants to be a mother can be a mother in 2022, and there is this joy you have when you're a mother. Nobody can explain it. Only mothers can explain it. So there is nothing wrong with you. For knowing us and us knowing you, you're gonna get your results. So thank you for coming today. Let me see.
Thank you.
Let me see if I have another question.
Yeah, there's one question for Michelle.
Okay. Okay, can you ask the question, please?
It says, my question goes like this to my fellow teacher, Michelle. The school project, does it spread globally to other rural communities or not? I guess she's asking if it's just for Umuchu or is it a global thing?
Okay, so the renovations we've done to the school obviously are just for the building that houses the school. The book donations and the resources we provide to the teachers of the two schools we currently are working with, we are hoping to empower those teachers to empower their students and then take that knowledge and move past, that school. With time, we will expand to other schools in Nigeria, and we hope beyond Nigeria. But you can imagine the difficulties associated with, doing these projects. Like we said, they always snowball. So we can't fix everything for one school. Right now, this is our focus because we've only been in existence for 6 months. But we do hope that we are empowering these teachers to have the tools to empower their students, and then their students can empower themselves to make, a better community for themselves, and then beyond that. With regards to the school renovations right now, we are focusing on 2 schools, but we have just awarded our very first scholarship to a young man named Jesse, who is heading into his 4th year of engineering. And we hope that Jesse will, put Azoneta out there, like take our, organization and say, be the flag person in university, telling them what we do, and hopefully bringing awareness to us so we can then empower more young people and offer more scholarships. I know that there's one young lady we're working with now to actually fund her through Teachers College, with the understanding that she will come back to that region and pay it forward with some level of teaching in that particular area. All of these things are in the works. So we start small, but our goal and our dream is to go big, just like, SGHS in terms of how many people they reach.
Yes.
The only thing I will ask Eric is to make sure, I know you're into data and engineering. I know you're very good friends with Bill Gates and lately with Elon Musk. Please continue that friendship. I know you guys are friends in social media. So this is how we can send the whole Nigeria alive.
I wish, but I just wanted to touch on the response that Michelle gave. So just based on that question. So right now we are doing a bit of a book drive. We are working with a company here in Canada who are offering us books, large amount of books. For the, we just got into a partnership with them. We haven't locked down all the details yet. These are things that we are working on. So just to answer the question about our global reach, I don't want to use the word global, but at least from a regional perspective, we will be donating huge amount of books across at least southeast region, of at least focusing maybe on Anambra State first of all. We have collected a significant amount of these books, and we will be
well over 1,000 so far.
Well over 1,000, absolutely. So, being realistic enough, not 2 schools, they don't need over 1,000. Based on their size. So
we have to
spread the wealth.
We will definitely be spreading
we
that
have to branch
knowledge.
out from Umuchu.
We have to branch out outside Umuchu to neighboring towns and all whatnot. Azoneta is currently, I don't want to make an announcement now, but Azoneta, I think Michelle hinted on that briefly today, but we are working on with another organization, and we will hopefully be making an announcement sometime around fall that will be a big initiative when it comes to initiative. And I am not mixing words here. This is going to be a big initiative in regards to education, right? So I would just ask everyone, stay tuned, follow us on our social media platforms so that we can keep everyone in the loop.
Please, I'm begging you, please, this big initiative, don't give me cardiac arrest. Please, I have a fragile heart, so please, you guys should be careful with me.
No, that's fair. Well, when Eric told me, he squealed like a girl. So he was very excited, and I couldn't quite understand what he was getting at. And he's like, "Why aren't you as excited?" And I'm like, "I'm not understanding the words coming out of your mouth right now. It's too quick and it's too high pitched." And yes, it's going to be a wonderful thing, and amazing for us and for all of the people that we can help and who that will in the end impact. So you'll have to stay tuned to see what that is.
Okay.
Correct. So Eric, you have 2 questions. Someone is asking, could you look into online mentorship program for our young people outside Umuchu?
Yeah. So to answer that question, actually, I am working on an initiative in terms of mentorship. I wouldn't call it mentorship, but it's more of looking at an initiative around digital entrepreneurship. We haven't worked out all the details yet. That might still take us a while. But yes, to answer your question, we are working on something on that as we speak. I am collaborating with a close relative of mine who is in the educational sector as well. I don't want to mention names because he's probably watching right now, and I'm sure he'll probably want to stay anonymous at this point. But yes, I am working on an initiative right now, and we hope that that will come to a reality. But these are the things that we are definitely working on, and it will be open to everybody. But we'll probably start off with a pilot program to start small to see how successful it will be. But definitely we will be. We are working on that, and for sure, stay tuned on our social media platforms, and we will definitely be keeping you all updated on how that's going on. And
Okay,
I think
so
you had a second question.
Correct.
No?
So the second question is, someone is asking about the 4 p.m. about the announcement you're making. He's asking about the time zone.
I think he meant the fall. Like we are still
Oh,
Sorry.
okay.
Yeah, it sounded like
fall,
it
that's
even
in-
sounded like 4 p.m. to
I
me,
thought it
but
was
then I
4
like,
p.m.
Yeah.
Okay, that was in
no, sorry,
Imutu.
it's
That was in Imutu
yeah.
language.
Yes, sorry,
So
I
fall
meant
is
in
fall.
Yes.
September. So we are
I had to
probably
decode that.
September, October timeline. Yes, if it comes
Correct.
sooner than
Yes.
that, then we will definitely let you all know.
Correct.
But yes, we're probably looking at a timeline around September. But if we can push it sooner, because it's a large initiative, it takes planning, coordination to get it right. So that's why we're probably looking around September, October. But if we do get our homework right, and it's possible that we shift it closer, which probably I doubt, but just stay tuned, September, October.
Yeah, so that means you have to be frequenting Azoneta. Go to the Facebook group, go to the group, go to LinkedIn, go to YouTube, go to Instagram, go to TikTok. I recently learned about this TikTok.
TikTok is where my kids have driven me to now, because they've said that is if I want to reach there. Because when I keep talking to them about Azoneta, they're like, we don't know what you're talking about. Meet us on TikTok.
So they want you to come to their playground.
That's right. They said come to our
right?
level and then let's discuss. So I'm like, okay, fine, whatever.
Yeah.
So,
and they
Exposure is important.
Correct.
That's
And someone is also asking about breast cancer awareness. So in the past, our topics are organically derived. So we look at things that people are interested in. But it will shock you, Eric and Mitchell. When we had our breast health masterclass, only few people attended. So it's not really on the priority list of our members. They only want to have babies. But breast health is very important. It's from breast health that you can actually have the awareness you need to prevent breast cancer, because breast cancer doesn't happen overnight. So if you're friendly and you know how to do your breast self-examination and you go for your regular check, when the lump comes, we can remove the lump, we can send it to pathology, we can know if it's cancer. If we need to remove your whole breast, we can remove it. Now, some people have familiar history of breast cancer. A good example is Angelina Jolie. She's a known actress. Her mom died early from breast cancer. What did she do? She had double mastectomy. Mastectomy is the surgical removal of your breast. You can have radical or superficial mastectomy. She removed her 2 breasts. So anytime you're watching her movies, the beautiful Angelina Jolie you're seeing, it's using replacement, which is okay. So long as you're living, life is good. So keep in touch. If you frequent our clinics, there is no topic we don't discuss. This week alone, we focused on teenage pregnancy. I told Kenny, hey, it's been long. We didn't really do anything about adolescent health. So we talked about teenage pregnancy. How can we prevent that? How can we prevent STDs? Because our kids, if they have problems, it's going to be on us. So keep showing up and keep going to Azoneta from today. Anywhere you see Azoneta, remember there is SGHS. So we work like Simon's twins. So we are intertwined, okay? It's a beautiful organization. You can see 6 months. They've done amazing things, and the best is yet to come. Okay, guys. Do we still have any question? Do you have any other question?
No, it's just a comment. Chijoke, she says, I'm a professional librarian. I can be of help if I'm needed. What I say to that is go to Azoneta's website and follow up with them there. Okay.
Or send us an email to info@azoneta.org.
Okay.
We're always happy to look for volunteers or men on the ground, women on the ground.
You heard it all.
Correct. And at least you might have an opportunity to have this. This is my Christmas club.
The rocket.
If you have skills that you can give to them, and if you have the passion to help others, because listen, this is not a get rich quick scheme. There's nothing to get rich, but this is just hard work, core hard work, and love for other humans. So if you feel like you have the calling and you have skills and talent, you want to donate, it's actually a donation, contact Azoneta. info@azoneta.org. And they go from there. They take it up from there. Okay.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
That's connections. We're all after connections. You never know where that connection you make with the next person, with the next organization, with the next business you meet will take us. Because the gentleman that we contacted regarding the books, we were actually looking to purchase, and he ended up donating.
You see that?
Absolutely.
Nothing ventured, nothing gained.
Nothing gained.
Correct. And having someone like Mitchell in your team, come on, you can't say no.
That's correct.
They have the power.
You've got the muscle.
Thank you.
Correct.
Yep.
They have the keyword, they have the password. So once
That's
they put
correct.
their password, we can get anything we want to get. So guys, thank you so much. What can you do for us? Copy the link of this broadcast, put it in your timeline. If you're not in our YouTube, please go there, follow Zoneta. Please spread the good news. We are here to change. We are the change. So together, we are going to get stronger, and we are going to be bringing and be building strong communities. So Azoneta, thank you so much for everything you brought on this day. Thank you for assisting to help us. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for believing in our organization to offer this scholarship to our members. We appreciate you a lot. Thank you, Michelle, for spending time to come. Thank you, Kenneth.
Of course, you're very welcome. Thank you.
If we don't have any other question, then maybe we can take a break for now. We don't say bye-bye. We continue behind the scenes. So guys, can we all appreciate our panelists today? Can we all appreciate them? Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for coming.
Thank you. Thank you very much
Thank you guys
for the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Eric, do you have any parting word before we go?
No, except I hope that we want to inspire. It's not about, we have too many organizations there doing good work. Many. There are millions of us out there. But we just want to inspire. I was inspired, and I hope that we can inspire others, right? Whatever you can do, if you can volunteer to your local community or to some local charity or foundation in your place or in your city or wherever, do that. If you want to donate to some organization, please do. If you want to volunteer or you want to work or partner with Azoneta in some capacity,
and donate too. I mean, there's provision for donation too.
I'm just going to share a short story.
Absolutely.
I was on Facebook a few weeks ago, and a young man reached out to me on Facebook saying, I'm out of work. I don't have anything doing. I just want to play a part, and I want to volunteer with Azoneta. And we started talking, and he's our volunteer now in Nigeria, right? So he's doing a lot of the pictures that we post. He's doing that. The same thing with a young lady that Michelle talked about. Same thing. She reached out to me on Facebook. She said she loves what we're doing and she wants to help. She's volunteering in her own little way. She's still in school, and that's how I started speaking with her and saying, what are you doing today and all. She said she has a passion to teach, but she just doesn't have the capacity to actually do that. And that's why we decided we will enroll her into a teaching to complete her teacher's education or degree in Nigeria.
Amazing.
So whatever capacity you can help, it's, as Michelle pointed out, it's all about connection at the end of the day. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Mitchell,
Amazing.
do you have any parting word for our members, please?
My mom always had a saying. She always said, one hand can't wash. You need two. So for our organization to be successful, we need those partnerships. We need those collaborations. We need those connections, because together we can build that better tomorrow. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And my amazing COO, Kenneth, what's your parting word?
Well, in life, there comes a time when it's no longer about what you can get, but what you can give. If you're at that point in your time, in your life, don't ever think that you have nothing to offer. You have a whole lot to offer. Reach out to organizations like Azoneta. See what you can do. It's not always about money or what can I get out of it. Give what you have. It could be talent. It could be that you can speak to people. And let me tell you, it creates a sense of fulfillment that you can never imagine. No career in this world can give it to you. So just reach out. And when we each do a little bit, there's a ripple effect that is created. And that's the way we get to change our world, especially in sub-Saharan Africa, where we are all from, of course, except, well, Michelle, we adopt you now.
Yeah, Michelle is not Nigeria.
I will just add my little bit of it. My mother born and raised in Jamaica.
Oh,
you're
I
getting
have
close. You're
Caribbean
getting
in my
better.
life.
okay. You don't need to be
Yes.
adopted. You're already part of us.
You're already part of us.
There you go.
Awesome.
It's my little
Awesome.
pig.
Do your little bit. If you
Awesome.
can write for Azoneta, write for SGHS.
Absolutely.
If you can draw or graphic design, just do something for free, and then we see where that goes. Just do something to help the world that we are all in. Don't just sit back or what can I get? What can I get? If you are in our group and you see a woman crying, I can't afford to see the doctor. Do something. If you can do it, just in your community, the same thing. When you see them being so mean to a woman who's dealing with her fertility, speak out, say something. Don't be a part of the the group that is pulling down people. Just do so. There's so many different ways we can help. Let's not just always be on what can I get out of this situation. And again, if you really do need help, 2 classic consults per month for the next 6 months. Please apply once the announcement is up on our page. Thank you so much, Azoneta. Eric, Michelle, we are very, very, very happy and lucky to have you guys here. Thank you for what you have done for our audience. Thank you for what you will do for our audience. And all this talk about what will be in a decade from now, it's all going to come to pass.
Amen. Thank you.
Yeah, guys, let me just say this. If you know me, I can go crazy sometimes, right? We are going to be in Umuchu live in the next week. We are going to be zooming from Umuchu. Now, I know some of you are in Umuchu now looking in. Our next agenda, I'm going to be sipping palm wine in Umuchu. I promise you it's going to happen.
Amen.
Mitchell, you better start applying for your vacation because it's going to happen. Nothing can stop us. Nothing can stop and either its time has come. This is the time of SGHS. This is the time of Azoneta. This is the time of this initiative. Things can only get better. So thank you for coming. Thank you, Kenneth. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Mitchell. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Have a beautiful weekend. Thank you, and bye-bye for now.
Thank you,
everyone.
God bless.
Bye-bye.